Good evening and welcome to Arizona Illustrated for Thursday, the 6th of December 2012. I'm Tony Paniagua. TED events are becoming more popular in different parts of the world, and Tucson will have its own version this Saturday, December 8th. TED stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design, and we are joined by Lewis Humphreys for additional details. Humphreys is the local TEDxTucson organizer. Lewis, thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you.
So let's begin with TED events. What is TED? When did it start and what's it all about?
TED originally began about 20 years ago. It was organized by Chris Anderson, who was a journalist. Originally, it was growing on the West Coast as the technology boom happened. They organized global conferences. The global conferences happen in Edinburgh, in Scotland, and in Long Beach. There are also TED Active conferences that happen in Palm Springs. Those have been going on for 20 years and they really grew in popularity. The TED website became very, very popular, and the talks that people were giving at the TED conferences were being filmed and videotaped for play on the TED website. Those videos started to become viral. Some of the videos have been seen more than 15 million times. And so the popularity grew to the point where they decided to have a local version of the TED events, and so they created TEDx. X equals locally organized event.
So are they inspirational, these events? Are they artistic? What are people taking away from them that they become so popular?
That's a good question. Our mission here at TEDxTucson is to inspire people. I think that many people share the videos online because they're inspired by them, but it's more than just inspiration. It's very informative. Often the videos feature cutting-edge technology, ideas that are awe-inspiring, and often they're funny. They can involve entertainment, their music, their education, a variety of different subjects. And so I think that it's become very popular because they offer a kind of hope for the future. In these days when people are so pessimistic and cynical, I think that the whole idea of TED and what TED's doing and the local TED events offer people an opportunity to get inspired about what's happening both globally and, in the case of TEDx, locally.
Okay, so what happened on Saturday, December 1st at the Student Union as far as connection to a TED event?
Well, we just installed a large artwork. The art is inspired by the French artist J.R. J.R. is a TED Prize winner. He's globally recognized as a street artist and does portraits, large format portraits, and installs them in interesting ways in public places. And so for 2 years, I've been working on a project to have large installations here in Tucson. We've had a couple of successful installations, one at the main library downtown, one at the Mercado San Agustin, and this is the third installation. It's at the Student Union building on the grand staircase. We're really pleased with the way that it turned out. Those are photos that we took of students at our TEDx Salon events. So we installed a big photo of a student who was inspired. I asked them as I was taking their photos to show us faces of your inspiration, having seen a TED event, and so we installed a large portrait of one of the students and then the eyes of another student in a kind of interesting way.
And now you're getting ready for another event. That one is happening this Saturday, December 8th. What's that all about?
I'm really, really glad you asked. We're getting really excited about this. The event this year is called City of Healing and Innovation, and what it is, it's featuring different aspects of the way our town leads the world in healing and innovation. So we have Dr. Stuart Hameroff, who's a global leader in consciousness studies. He organizes the biannual conference on consciousness studies here in Tucson. He's going to be speaking about the future of consciousness. We have a couple of local technology innovators that have developed different kinds of medical technology. They're going to be speaking about that. We have here in Tucson one of the leaders, Naya Arbiter, in drug treatment. She's going to be speaking about drug treatment. We're really pleased to have a Canadian author, Patricia Pearson, who's going to be coming and talking about her latest book and research into people's experience of the afterlife. And the talk is called Why Ghosts Are Good for You. She's very funny, so we're really looking forward to that.
So how does this work? There is a cover charge, but it's a nonprofit organization.
Yeah, so we have a lot of costs associated with the event. It is not for profit, but we have to rent the theater and pay for plane tickets and all kinds of different costs. And so the tickets that are $20 cover all of our costs and make the event sustainable, but no one gets paid to do this, and it's all volunteer.
And then finally, if you can say it in a few words, why are you so inspired and dedicated to this TED?
Well, I really love the TED work that I'm doing here in town. I get to meet a lot of great people. I meet really inspiring people who have come up with great ideas. And the tagline for TED is ideas worth sharing. And I've always been very interested in ideas and consciousness and things like that. So I'm glad to make a contribution to Tucson culture.
Okay, well, Louis Humphreys, thank you very much for joining us and good luck.
Thank you.
Universities play a major role in the economy, research, and culture of many countries and states around the world, and Arizona is no exception. Next, Michael Chihak speaks with the president of Arizona State University about the financial impact of these institutions in our state.
Is higher education in Arizona fulfilling the mission needed to grow the economy?
In Arizona, I think higher education is working valiantly to fulfill that mission, but we're not quite there yet, and I'm talking about the entire sector, not just the public universities. We're about 30,000 graduates per year short of what's necessary to resupply and enhance our economic opportunity, just from what we can produce within the state. That's about a 50% scale up from where we presently are. So we have a long way to go to enhance our ability to have the economy get to the most competitive positioning.
And how do we fulfill that gap? How do we close that gap?
I think the Regents universities, Arizona ASU and NAU, will take about half of that. And then private colleges and private for-profits will have to pick up the rest of that. Most importantly, what we have to focus on is we have a pipeline issue. So we have insufficient numbers of students coming up through K through 12 to actually provide the starter material to get to the college graduate. And so we've got to really spend some time focused on our pipeline.
You talked in your speech to the Morrison Institute conference about the equality issue. Does that play a role in that pipeline that you're talking about?
Absolutely. The notion of, I talked about equality and education, and so this notion of justice through equality. Equality is a factor in the pipeline in the sense that what we need is we need people capable of having access to that which will make them a 21st century educated individual capable of contributing to a 21st century economy, and that means making certain that schools can deliver that to every child.
Does Arizona have the right vision for its economy, including the educational factor that feeds the economy?
You know, I think that Arizona has an directionally correct vision, but it's inadequately empowered. So Arizona is a place built on this notion of free spirit and independentness and entrepreneurism and so forth. But to enable that, we need a social infrastructure through education that has able-bodied men and women, young boys and young girls, produced from this system that enable us to attain that vision. Right now, we're not on that path quite yet. We need to devote more energy to that.
Are you referring to a collaborative effort that needs to be done statewide that you don't see now?
No, what I'm referring to is that what we need is more of a relentless focus on Arizona's vision of itself, and that as a part of that, what we need is at the root of that is a focus on this notion of justice through equality, all people being equal and being treated fairly and equally under the law. And then also what we need is a focus on educational attainment. We don't yet have that mindset that educational attainment is as important as it is. I'm not quite sure why, but we don't quite have that yet.
And how do we get to that? What needs to be done in the public education realm informally kind of marketing, I guess is what I'm alluding to.
Well, it's not just marketing. So I think what we need, where we need collaboration among and between all the schools, K through 12, the universities, the community colleges, and everyone, is we just need to go into a mode that the model that we have now, for the most part, got us to point B. We need to get to point A. To get from point B to point A, we must have higher levels of innovation, higher levels of creativity, new ways of doing things, new ways of attacking the problem, because we're not going to be able to do it based on the old methods. And so collaboration through innovation.
Is what you see going on at state government level and at local governmental levels in terms of supporting that notion adequate at this point?
No, it's not adequate, because our performance numbers indicate that we're not making as much progress as we need to be making. And so that means all things. We should just go down to sort of zero base and reconsider the structure of everything so that we can attain these educational outcome objectives that we need to attain.
Students attend the University of Arizona from all over the world to learn about a variety of topics, and tonight we'll tell you about an event that will showcase some of their talents and that you can enjoy for free next week. For this and more, we are joined by Beverly Seckinger and Keith Wagner. Seckinger is a professor in the University School of Theater, Film, and Television, and Wagner is a junior who will debut his documentary. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Beverly, let's begin with you. What would you like to tell the general audience about the School of Theater, Film, and Television here at the U of A?
Well, we offer a full complement of programs in theater production and performance, and also on the film and television side, programs in film production, in producing the business side of media and media studies, history, theory, criticism.
And we were speaking ahead of this interview, and I think one of the benefits that students get here is that pretty small classes and lots of hands-on activities.
Yes, all of the production classes are 20 students max, because we have 20 stations in our lab. And it's hard to teach production to 100 people at a time, though I actually did do that in the early days here in the 90s when I first came here. But the lab sections were still small. So anyway, yes, they get a lot of private attention and hands-on experience.
Great. And then, so Keith, when did you hear about the school and why did you decide to come here and be one of the students?
Well, I heard about the school my senior year of high school through my high school television production teacher, who said that I should look into being a film major before I was kind of pursuing and thinking about pursuing the medical career, because I know U of A is a Research One university and a great university to come to for aspiring doctors. But after some conversations with one of my high school teachers, he really pointed me in what I think is the right direction, because I can't imagine doing anything else.
So you came down from the Phoenix area and you said, I'm hooked, I'm going to attend the school?
Yeah, the very first thing that drew me in was the campus. I toured NAU, U of A, and ASU all back to back to get the best comparison I could possible. And after touring all three universities, there was just really, I really didn't have any doubt. I knew I wanted to be a Wildcat.
All right. And Beverly, so obviously we want to talk about the event that's coming up next Wednesday, December 12th. What do you want to say about this?
Yeah, so this is the culminating screening event for the BFA Junior. So our BFA program in film production begins students in the spring of their sophomore year, right? And then there's 5 intensive semesters of media production and so forth. So anyway, in the fall of their junior year, the main project class is this documentary production class, and the big event is called What's Up Docs. It was named by a student jokingly a couple of years ago, and we just hung on to it because we like it. In fact, all of our major screenings are now branded with names like this. So there's What's Up Docs in the fall, Magic Hour, the same cohort of students in the spring making short fiction films, and then our big event of the year, I Dream in Widescreen, in May on graduation night at the Fox, where the seniors showed their thesis films.
All right. And Keith, what would you like to say about your documentary?
So my documentary is based off of my best friend. He's a former standout triathlete from the Phoenix area who is now using the sport that he once loved, triathlon, to recover from the sudden loss of his father. And it was this story started back in April when my best friend, his dad, Dennis, and his mother, Ann, were taking a motorcycle trip when Dennis lost control of his motorcycle, and tragically he died on the scene of the accident, and Ann was thrown 60 feet through the air and was able to recover, or mostly recovered from her injuries, and she's still clinging to that. Now, Dylan, being my best friend and also the subject of my documentary, is the same age as myself. He's a junior at NAU, and at the time he was a sophomore at NAU. and he really had to make some different life changes. And I mean, when you're a college student, you don't think about, you know, what kind of care am I going to get from my parents? You have other priorities. You have school, friends, other social life, career ahead of you. And so when something like this, a tragic event happens, you really have to reevaluate your life, and that's what my best friend had to do, and that's what my story is about.
And you are going to set up a scholarship or contribute to a scholarship fund as a result?
Yes, in Dennis Barr, he dedicated a lot of his life to developing junior triathletes, myself included, and that's how I got to know Dennis and the Barr family, and I've been really fortunate to do that. So in Dennis's honor, after he died in the accident, they set up a scholarship fund for junior triathletes, and that's what the main reason I'm making this film is, that all my proceeds that I'm going to make by screenings, whether it's in Phoenix or Tempe, anywhere around the country, will be going to the Dennis Barr Memorial Scholarship.
All right, and Beverly, so this must be a really good opportunity for the general audience, the members of our community, to see some of these wonderful productions. It's going to be held next Wednesday, December 12th at the Loft Cinema at 7 p.m. Why would you encourage just an average person to go there and check out what's being produced by students like Keith Wagner?
I think we've found a lot of interest in student films in the community, which is fantastic. And it's a chance to see their early work before they launch into the world of the media industries and really make a mark. And it's quite incredible where our students will find themselves in the next few years. Recently, we were able to see a feature film directed by a group of directors, including 2 fellows who graduated from this same program about 6 or 7 years ago. And it was a film that premiered at Sundance in January, and it did a week's run at the Loft. And we had another event at the Loft a few weeks after that called Play It Again, of films made by our students, and their film from 2003 screened in that. So it's a way to see their work in progress, as they develop.
Okay, excellent. Beverly Seckinger and Keith Wagner. The event is going to be held next Wednesday, December 12th at the Loft Cinema at 7 p.m. here in Tucson. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A group of talented Tucsonans that has been entertaining audiences for 3 decades is getting ready for its retro Christmas activities next week. Next, Caitlin Harrington speaks to members of the Southern Arizona Women's Chorus about this organization and its concerts.
Joining me now from the Southern Arizona Women's Chorus is Terri Ashbaugh and Terri Giammona. Thank you both for joining me today, ladies.
Thank you.
Terri, I'll start with you. If you can kind of give us a little history on the Southern Arizona Women's Chorus, when it began and how it has grown over the years.
It began as a master students project in 1985, and they had maybe a dozen singers. When the master student had his project done, he left, and they decided they enjoyed singing enough. They hired a director, and they had maybe 30 women that would do oldies and Broadway tunes and just go out and sing for retirement homes. When I took over, shortly thereafter, we received an invitation to go to Carnegie Hall, and that meant doing classical music, which is something they hadn't done before. And most of them wanted to do it, so we started that project. We doubled in size. We changed our name from the Foothills Women's Chorus to the Southern Arizona Women's Chorus, and got a community board, and it has become a very large, wonderful organization with lots of people volunteering, and we do a lot of good for the community now.
Terri, their concert that you have coming up is your holiday concert, and you said it's kind of like the fun concert before you get into the really serious stuff next season. Can you tell our audience what the theme of this holiday concert is going to be?
Well, we're calling it a retro Christmas. Almost all of the repertoire is from the 40s and 50s. Songs like I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus and Jingle Bell Rock, and the good old fun songs to do. That doesn't mean they're easy to sing. It's been an interesting kind of jazz repertoire, and we have a combo that's playing with us, so it will be a lot of fun, and a lot of fun for the audience.
Terri, you became involved with the Women's Chorus about 5 years ago. Tell me what you get out of being in a chorus and why you like singing in a group of women.
Well, it's one of the greatest group of women I've ever been around, and they're all positive people. It's a very positive and rewarding experience. For example, yesterday we did our first concert of the season, and I looked out in the audience and there were like 5 or 6 women in the back dancing and everyone's singing along, and it just makes you feel good that you brought someone some joy for that time period. It's a wonderful experience.
When we talked prior to this interview, you said that there's a lot of different materials that Terri gives you to kind of practice and rehearse for these concerts. Can you talk about some of the unique ways that you are able to rehearse for all of your events?
Well, at the beginning of the season, we get a new repertoire and we get the actual music. But besides that, our wonderful director helps us in that she records each section's part on a CD, and each one of us get one of those CDs with our part on it. And we also get a CD with another choral group singing the piece together, so we know what we're supposed to sound like. So we practice those, and we practiced for 2 hours a week together, and our groups practice together also. So it all just works out wonderfully.
Terri, tell me about, after this holiday season, the big event that you have coming up for the spring concert.
We are hosting the second Women's Chorus Festival. These are women's choruses from around the nation. A friend of mine and I kind of put this whole idea together of having an opportunity for us to hear each other's repertoire and learn what their rehearsals are like, what their costumes are like, and get to know other women. And this concert will be a culmination of this festival. So it'll be more serious works, more of the advanced level choral repertoire for women's choruses. But you'll hear us for half the concert, and then the combined choruses from the festival in our spring concert. And with the repertoire that we're doing is a lot more serious and a lot harder. So that's why we're having so much fun this season, kind of lighten it up before we get in there.
And going back to this holiday concert, can you tell our audience which dates they'll be able to catch it and how much the tickets are going to be?
Yes, Friday, December 14th. It'll be at 7 p.m. at Catalina Foothills High School. And then Sunday afternoon, December 16th at 4 p.m. at Ascension Lutheran Church, which is in the northwest part of town. And you can call or visit our website for tickets in advance, and those are $18 or $20 at the door, and children 10 and under are free.
Okay. And Terri, in addition to the ticketed concerts that you do every year, you're in charge of the events as well. So can you talk to us about some of the outreach concerts that you perform also?
Okay, we go out into the community. This year we have 10 for this season. And we go to civic organizations, we go to retirement communities, nursing homes. We do benefits for nursing homes. We do benefits for schools, elementary schools. We've even gotten together with high schools and done workshops. So it's a great experience.
Yeah, we've brought in some composers or world-renowned directors and done workshops with them. So it's been a lot of fun.
Ladies, I thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Southern Arizona is known for its unique culture and architecture, and I will tell you more in our next segment. It is brought to us by Damian Klinko, the president of the Tucson Historic Preservation Foundation.
On December 13th, 1925, the New York Times reported, after investigation by a number of scientists, first announcement was made here today of an excavation near Tucson of cast lead swords, crosses, and other objects bearing Latin and Hebrew inscriptions, which, taken at their face value, are held to mean that Roman Jews crossed the Atlantic in the Dark Ages, penetrated to Arizona, and formed a kingdom which lasted from about 700 AD to 900 AD. The 32 lead artifacts included crosses, a crescent, a 7-branched candlesticks, and objects decorated with symbols, Latin, and Hebrew engravings. The objects became known as the Silver Bell or Tucson artifacts, They were dug up from hard caliche near Silver Bell Road, northwest of Tucson. Dr. Byron Cummings, professor of archaeology at the University of Arizona, vouched for the reliability of the discoverers of the objects, which, he said, showed Jewish and Christian influence. On September 13, 1924, Mr. Maynor and his family, returning home from Picture Rocks, just north of Tucson, had stopped to examine an old lime kiln along the road. While exploring, Mr. Maynor noticed a particular object protruding from the bank to the north of the kiln. It was metal and firmly embedded in the limestone, 5 feet 5 inches below the surface. He excavated the object, a large metal cross, which consisted of 2 parts riveted with lead. Between the 2 halves was a wax preservative. On the inner surface of both halves was a Latin inscription. It was a large metal cross weighing 65 pounds. The cross was taken to the University of Arizona, where Professor Frank H. Fowler, from the College of Letters, Arts, and Sciences, translated the Latin. Mr. Maynor and Thomas W. Best continued to uncover other objects. Analysis showed that they were made of lead mixed with antimony, silver, and tin. The inscriptions described the conflicts of a prehistoric Roman Jewish kingdom in the southwest with the Toltec Indians, forerunners of the Aztecs. From the inscriptions, it was deduced that the mysterious invaders called their land Kalalas, using the text as a basis for the work Loren Coleman Ulstander, historian of Tucson, sketched out the history of the rulers of Kalalas, a dynastic lineage consisting of Theodorus, Jacobus, Israel I, and Israel II. The entire incident was steeped in controversy. In the end, investigations revealed that the discovery was nothing but pure 1920s flim-flam. The bulk of Latin had been plagiarized from 1800s grammar books, and chemical analysis revealed some of the lead was a contemporary commercial alloy. But yet the artifacts have remained clouded in mystery and fodder for conspiracy theorists. They eventually found their way to the Arizona Historical Society, where they are often on display.
Coming up tomorrow night, Jim Ninsel will join us on the Arizona Illustrated Political Roundtable, where he and his guests will address some of the pressing topics affecting our state and communities. I'm Tony Paniagua from all of us at Arizona Public Media. Have a great night.